Hey, Internet, Endork here again. I've had a cool response to the first video that I put out. Thank you for that. And I had a follow-up based on some thoughts that I've been having and some a lot of comments that I've been seeing on social media. Like a lot of people have been asking over the past couple of days on social media, like, why is Cyberpunk getting so much heat over this? A they had a warning about epilepsy in the beginning of the game in the intro, and honestly, that's a fair question, totally legitimate question. Um, and I've been thinking about that, and I think it's kind of like the may trigger epilepsy thing in video games is everywhere. It's on like every single game. So honestly, I didn't really ever pay much attention to it. If it like with a game like Tron, it's like, oh yeah, a lot of bright flashes and flashy graphics. Yeah, it makes sense. But it's on everything like most games. I don't know if Animal Crossing has it or Mario Maker has it, but it's the same kind of thing as like when I was working in retail, I saw a lot of the warning label may contain um may contain a substance known to the state of California to cause cancer, which was also on everything. Um Mainly because um if manufacturers didn't have the money or ability to prove that they didn't, it was safer to just put the label on and forget about it. It was just easier to comply with the regulations that way. Not their fault, just it makes sense. It's expensive to prove that you don't. But that comes to the issue here, which is there's only two different settings or like states that something could have. It's does not and maybe. No and maybe. There's a lot of wiggle room in there for a lot of nuance that you just don't see. It'd be like if rating systems for games and movies had only like one level of violence. It was like no violence and contains violence. Um, if that were the case, you would have all of the MCU movies on the same level as Deadpool. Um, and just imagine like a parent with a small kid loves the MCU, goes to Thor and the Avengers, which contain violence, and seeing an ad for Deadpool, which also contains violence, with no indication of how much violence was in there, that it's a rated R movie. Um, if we didn't have that, of like contains graphic violence, this parent with a small kid could just easily assume, oh, okay, well, it contains violence, no big deal. So did the Avengers. What sounds like a good movie I could go see with my kid, with absolutely no warning that there was a lot of blood, severed limbs, and decapitations. Um, this yeah, this is basically the problem that CD Projekt Red stumbled into with um, with Cyberpunk, because all the games out there, it's either no epilepsy risk or maybe some epilepsy risk. And there's a big difference between like a couple of sparkles when you pick up a power up in Mario Maker, or just moving along the screens in Animal Crossing. I haven't played it. Or your character flashing in Mario Kart, or like a nuclear bomb going off in the background in Call of Duty, or the flashy explosions in Warframe, and a device that simulates a medical device that uh, is designed to cause seizures. Um, and this is what CD Projekt Red stumbled into with Cyberpunk. Like the regulation stuff is totally not CD Projekt Red's fault. Like this is just an oversight that they stumbled into. It's obviously their fault that they put that in the game, huge oversight, um, which is thankfully being looked at. But this, I mean, this is just something that's been overlooked in the industry for honestly decades, and that part is not CD Projekt Red's fault. Um, I don't know what the solution is here, but I think that this point needs to be considered when we're looking at the solutions and having toggles like we do with the violence and the language settings in games. I just think that this is a good idea to look at and consider, whether we need to add levels of risk. Um, for epilepsy into the games or just have the settings. I don't know, but I just wanted to get these thoughts out there so that people can consider them and act accordingly. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.